Level 1, the first year. You're 22, fresh out of college, walking into Goldman Sachs as an investment banking analyst. Base salary, $110,000. Signing bonus, $15,000. You land in the healthcare M&A group. Your VP is Marcus. Your first assignment comes late at night. One chart in a pitch book won't fit the page. Marcus wants the font drop from size 10 to 9.5, half a point. You spend 6 hours on it, spacing, alignment, making sure that table holds the page. 4 a.m., you send the revised deck. 5 minutes later, change it back to 10. The chart survives. Your night doesn't. 7 people in your analyst class. The story going around the firm? When the 2-year program ends, only a minority get asked to stay. The rest get encouraged toward business school, private equity, or the sudden realization that leaving was their idea all along. Nobody calls it getting pushed out. Nobody has to. Year-end, your bonus lands around $85,000. Add the base and the signing bonus, total comp roughly $210,000. Then you do the math on hours. 92 a week, averaged out. Comes to about $47 an hour. You write that number on a sticky note, stick it next to your monitor. Doesn't make the night any easier, just gives the suffering a unit of measurement. Goldman technically protects Friday 9 p.m. to Sunday 9 a.m., no work expected. 6 months in, and you haven't had one full weekend off yet. The policy's real, so are the exceptions. Level 2, the second year divide. 23. Year 2 starts and the job changes. You're not just fixing fonts anymore. You're building pieces of real models now. Feels like progress. It's also the year your mistakes start costing something. Live acquisition. One growth rate assumption in your DCF model references the wrong row. Overstates the valuation by about 4%. Small number until it's attached to a real company. Marcus catches it the night before the materials go to the client. Doesn't yell, just tells you to recheck every model you've touched in the last 6 months, every formula, every link, every assumption. You burn the whole weekend on it. Nothing else turns up. Monday, Marcus stops by your desk. You got lucky this one never reached the client. Won't happen twice. 10 seconds. You remember it for years. Retention decisions land at year-end. You're among those asked to stay. 2 paths, straight promotion to associate or a 2-year MBA with partial tuition covered, then back to the firm. You take the promotion. No MBA, no break. You survive the analyst program. The reward is more responsibility. Level 3, the associate. By 26, you're an associate. Base jumps to $175,000. Bonus somewhere between $160,000 and $190,000. The raise changes your paycheck. The promotion changes whose errors arrive under your name. First time managing analyst. One of them Sophia, 23, first year. 11 at night, she messages you. Should a chart title be bold at 12 or regular at 11? You stare at it for 10 seconds. Remember Marcus. Remember the 9.5-point font. Remember how little anyone actually explained to you back then. Instead of just change it, you write a full paragraph. Where the client's eyes land first when they open the page, which number needs to hit first, why font size was never really the question. Sophia tells another analyst later, first reply she'd gotten at Goldman with more than 10 words in it. Your first deal running solo, a mid-sized pharmaceutical acquisition, $420 million. 3 straight weeks, working past 2 a.m. most nights, managing the model, coordinating analysts, chasing comments from lawyers and accountants. Closing day, the client's CFO emails to thank you personally. Copies your department head. You read it twice. Then, first time in 4 years, a client's used your name. Level 4, the vice president. 30 years old, VP now. Base, $230,000. Bonus, $350,000 to $450,000. You're not building models anymore. Your analysts build them. Your associates check them. You're coordinating the team, starting to hold client relationships directly. Your own spreadsheet is no longer the edge of the job. The entire team's output now reaches the client through you. You're leading a $1.1 billion cross-border deal. Due diligence. Sophia, senior analyst now, finds a number in the target's environmental compliance report that doesn't match their regulatory filing. Small gap, big enough to trigger questions. You bring it to Rebecca, the MD running the deal. She doesn't wave it off, gets on the target's legal team, and pushes for 2 straight weeks. Eventually, they admit it. A clerical error in the report. Deal closes clean. In the celebration email, Rebecca thanks Sophia by name. You read that line once, then forward the email to her without adding a comment. Level 5, 35, Executive Director. Goldman's rung between VP and Managing Director. Base around $250,000. But base isn't the number that matters anymore. For the first time, the firm's asking whether you can bring revenue in the door yourself, not just execute what lands on your desk. You've been cultivating a relationship for years with an entrepreneur you knew back in school. His company's hit $800 million in revenue, gearing up for an IPO. Almost a full year of maintaining that relationship. A dozen-plus lunches, most of them not even touching the IPO. Hiring, competitors, family. Anything but the mandate you both know might eventually show up. When it does, you get the authorization. Winning the work took a year. Doing it starts immediately. A 7-city roadshow with the management team. Chicago, a fund manager pushes back hard on rising customer acquisition costs. You don't dodge it. With management's approval, you walk him through the parts of the cost plan the company has been cleared to discuss, where management expects efficiencies to come from, and why the current increase may not be permanent. You later learn that the clarity of that answer helped the institution get comfortable with the offering. IPO raises $630 million. Your team's fee? 5.5%. Goldman clears about $34.65 million on the deal. Only part of that gets credited to you personally, but that credited piece matters. It's what decides whether your name ever gets floated for managing director. Closing the deal isn't enough at this level anymore. The firm wants to know the deal existed because of you. Level 6, the managing director list. 40 years old, and your name's on the MD candidate list. Promotion cycle runs every 2 years. Goldman doesn't publish the odds. The firm announces the people who made it, not the number who were considered and rejected. Revenue matters. Relationships matter. Neither one's enough alone. The nomination needs support across departments. Banking, risk, compliance, other business lines all get a vote in committee. Rebecca's your direct boss now. She tells you she got rejected twice before making it on her 3rd nomination. First rejection cited thin cross-department collaboration. Took her 2 years working joint projects across business lines to fix that gap. You go back and check your own record. Almost everything's healthcare. The expertise that built your career just turned into your weakness. Less than a year left, you volunteer for a cross-department Tech M&A group, on top of your existing healthcare book. First time in years you feel junior again. New companies, new language, a sector you never planned on learning. 3 months of waiting after the committee meets. You replay every interaction outside your group. The risk exec you snapped at over email, the compliance officer you pushed back on in a meeting, the tech banker whose project you turned down 4 years back. You wonder if they remember. More than that, you wonder how. Decision day, the list updates on the intranet. Your name's there. The promotion doesn't end the review. It widens the jury. Level 7, the partner calling. 36, and your name enters the partnership conversation. The least transparent process at the entire firm. No public candidate list. Nominations and debates happen inside a committee small enough to fit in one room. Rebecca made partner 2 cycles ahead of you. Election day, no warning. No calendar invite telling you to keep your phone close. Your office line just rings. The CEO's office. Voice on the other end congratulates you. You're one of Goldman's newest partners. The title arrives in one phone call. The career behind it was built from thousands of smaller decisions nobody ever announced. First reaction isn't excitement. It's disbelief. You sit there for 5 minutes. Desk, closed laptop, the phone that just rewrote what your career means. Then you walk out to find your team. Sophia gets to you first, wraps you in a hug. Goldman elects partners every 2 years. Public numbers show the 2024 class included 95 new partners. The firm had more than 46,000 employees worldwide at the time. Against a workforce that large, the class was exceptionally small. Published figures say the average partner takes about 16 years to get here. It took you 24, almost 8 years longer. You think about that cross-border deal that nearly turned into a regulatory mess. The tech projects you picked up at 40 because your experience ran too narrow. Every cycle where someone else's name got called first. The extra 8 years didn't come from one big failure. They stacked up slow. One delayed promotion, one missing relationship, one skill you didn't know you needed until a committee asked for it. Your comp structure changes completely now. No more fixed year-end bonus. Earnings tied to the firm's overall profit and your business line's performance. The numbers confidential outside the firm. Mostly confidential inside it too. Level 8. The partner's responsibility. 52. 6 years a partner now. But the title doesn't remove performance pressure. As a partner, you're judged through the firm's results, your business line, and the clients attached to your name. The pressure from your analyst years never actually left. It just stopped showing up as a midnight formatting comment. Now it shows up in revenue reports, lost clients, committee decisions. Sophia enters the MD nomination process this year. The analyst who once asked whether a chart title should be size 12 or 11 is now staring down one of the hardest promotions at the firm. She comes by your office, asks about that year you spent chasing your first client, how you kept going with zero guarantee it would ever pay off. You tell her the truth. The only thing you actually controlled was one phone call a week. You called him, never pitched, never asked about the IPO, just stayed in touch. One call, every week. The mandate was uncertain. The habit wasn't. You've started sitting in on analyst recruiting too. Every year, another batch of 22-year-olds, polished resumes, rehearsed answers, careful reasons for wanting this job. They remind you of your own class. They remind you of yourself. Young enough to believe the next title makes the whole system simpler. After one interview, a student gets an offer. Before she starts, you send over a pitchbook template, one line attached. Don't obsess over the font size. Get the logic right first. You hit send, and somewhere in the back of your head, a chart. Size 10. Changed to 9.5. Changed back to 10. 6 hours of work for half a point that didn't survive the night. At 22, you thought the job was about producing the perfect page. At 52, you understand the page was never the actual test. Over 30 years, the unit of responsibility kept expanding, from one cell in a model, to an analyst's work, to a client relationship, and eventually to revenue the firm expected you to create. Then came the final responsibility, teaching the next person how to survive the same machine without turning into a copy of it. The salary changed, the title changed, the size of the deals changed. But the most useful lesson took 30 years to make its way back to where it started. The font was never the point.